Here we go, Kendrick, 1884. Okay, time for a Sicilian. Let's see what we get here. He goes for the open Sicilian. That's good, I like that. So I'm going to go for the classical Sicilian here with the two knights coming out. He needs to defend the pawn. Yeah, and then I bring the other knight out. Putting a little pressure on the center. Asking if he wants to trade. Yeah, that's one of the main responses. This is a Fischer-Sozin attack. Depending on which way white castles. I think Fischer castled kingside and Sozin was queenside. Yeah, Fischer style. The other main line against the classical is to bring the bishop out to g5. So what to do here? That's about all I know. I think you can target this bishop. Put the rook on the c file. Yeah, let's start with this. Oh, he decided to take. I think that's not that accurate because it gives me an extra pawn in the center. Yeah, I have to be a little careful now. He pins the knight and is threatening to push the pawn, which would be a little annoying. Let's see, if I just break the pin and he pushes the pawn, I could play knight here, which would be interesting. If I break the pin and he takes my knight, and I take back with the bishop, then it leaves this pawn hanging. That's the little trick here that white is trying to play. Well, and this exchange protected his bishop, so he gets to keep the bishop on that angle. So I can't push this pawn hitting his bishop. He can push the pawn hitting my knight. I take, he takes. I don't especially like that. I could kick the bishop and then play play g5 to break the pin. That's a way to deal with it. Then I can kick his other bishop. So it leaves me with a bit of a loose king side, but a solid center to make up for it. So I think I'm okay here. He's still moving very quickly. He's still got 8 minutes on his clock. I'm going to go ahead and castle here. This might kind of dissolve to nothing, yeah, if he just keeps taking everything. So I wonder if there's a tactic here. I take the bishop. I mean, if I take the knight, his bishop is hanging. So he takes my bishop. I could take a pawn. But his queen could take here. Just step up with the king. Allow me to bring a rook over to defend the h-pawn if I need it. And now it does kind of threaten this tactic over here against his knight. So he decided to bring his bishop back. It makes sense. Yeah. He left me with the bishop pair. Okay, well, first let's put the rook on an open file, see if he wants to defend his b-pawn. Rook up and over to chase the queen out is an interesting idea, I think, here. I'd really like to be able to play e5 e5 to e4 to shut down the bishop on that diagonal. But when I play e5, my d-pawn is hanging. If I play rook to b4, he could just play g3 to keep control of that square. Let's go with this. I'm defending the d-pawn so I can push the e-pawn. And yeah, he's playing actively. Makes sense. So can I push the e-pawn here? Probably not. So that's an argument that for playing rook to b4. If I had this here already, I could have just taken that pawn. Yeah, I'm going to take it. I don't mind. Don't mind that trade. He's looking at these holes and wondering if he can get in with the queen. The queen has a check here. Okay, let's bring the pawn forward as I wanted to, and now I'm prepared to play prepared to play e4 to shut out the bishop. The queen check. If I block with the bishop, then he has it's pinned and he can attack it with a pawn. Yeah, so I think that's a problem. But and he immediately goes for that. But I can do this. Maybe he could have done that before. Maybe he could have played that earlier. The bishop went there. That's weird. What's up with that? Okay. Should I try and save the f-pawn? That's the question I'm asking myself here. I guess I can't really save it. I could attack his queen with the bishop. Takes the pawn. I move my king up to defend here. I guess. But that leaves this pawn hanging. Okay. Going to drop back like this. Defend this pawn. Keep this pawn defended and prepare to bring my queen in. Defending the pawn on h6 and the pawn on d5 and giving up the f-pawn. So where does that leave us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so he, I guess, gave up a pawn in the attack. And now he gets it back. So he's looking at this one. He's looking here and here and here. So bring the queen over right away. I'm still keeping this d-pawn defended here. Because if knight takes, I take the queen. So he doesn't have too many good squares. He can't come along this diagonal except here. Can't come along this diagonal, right and left. Yeah, he only has one move other than trading, which is to play queen back to h3. Well, at least he started to think. So he defends the queen with the bishop. Okay. Well, I don't mind the trade here. I'm just wondering if I have anything better. I can't take the bishop because he takes back with check. That would be a disaster. Yeah, so let's get rid of the queen so I don't have to worry about these pesky pieces around my king so much. Now, I've got a passed pawn and I have the bishop pair for the endgame, so this should be good for me, but still takes some care. Let's see, let's harass the knight first. Get my bishop a little bit away from that corner. Centralize it a little better. Okay, so let's start the pawns rolling. Yeah, I can push, or I should put the rook behind it first, I guess. Want to bring my king in, so I want to just kind of hold the situation here. Looks like he had the same idea. My king is coming up to f6. So he wants to go there. I could get rid of that knight right now. Might save me a lot of trouble in the future. Take the knight, put my king up to f6, and then push that pawn. Do I have something stronger, though? I could go here first. He can't play the check because I'll just take... He can't play the check because I will just take that bishop. Okay, now I'll take the knight and push the pawn. I guess. Hitting the pawn over here. He backed up to defend it. That's interesting. So if I attack that pawn, well, actually, I'd rather get rid of the bishop or get it off of this diagonal so I can bring my king in. So let's chase that bishop a little bit. Actually, he can put his bishop here, can't he? Yeah, he can. He can do that. Life is trouble. I just want to bring my king forward one space. Is that too much to ask? want to take the bishop and move my king forward one step. That should be a good result for me. There we go. And he brings his king over to defend, I guess. Oh, he brings his rook over to defend. Okay, so now I can bring my king in. I mean, my rook in. So I have the check. Guess that didn't actually work, huh? Okay, I'll just keep poking at different ways to get to the second rank. There's got to be a way through somehow. It's these advanced protected passed pawns, they exert a powerful restricting influence on your opponent's pieces there. So he's getting some counterplay going. I think that is the correct way to play that. So now I can... that's annoying. He's going to come to this square, attacking my pawn. I can push this pawn. That's what I should do. Then bring my king in. Okay, it looks like he's going to let me have a rook here. And yeah, he's going to take there, and then he's going to try and get counterplay here, which makes a lot of sense. Just drop the rook back. Oh, he's got an idea here that I didn't account for. So if I push forward, if I go here, does this buy me time? So I take, he takes. It takes me 1, 2, 3, 4 moves to make a queen, and he can queen in 3 moves. 1, 2, 3, basically. So let's see if this gains a tempo here somehow. Get my king out of the way. Get closer to queening. Looks like that did it. Okay, he decided to resign. Anyway, nice game. I think I will upload this into a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.